Water seeker. Just leave me. липучий. Ладно, чуть-чуть. Это и есть. Нет, не такие, играй ногами, да. Вот нормально. Может, да, есть. Да, наоборот, да. Я не понял, ну вот это голоса. Ну да, кстати, это надо. Ну наоборот, ну запиши себе. Надо платно играть. А,
Mm. Mm. Ah.
нет, да.
Ah. Nylon is an extremely important plastic polymer that's used to make clothing and a whole bunch of other products. There are a few different types of nylon, and the one that I want to make is specifically known as nylon 6,6. In order to make it, I'm going to be following this reaction scheme, which is the typical industrial route to nylon 6,6. On the left side, it starts with cyclohexanol, which is converted to adipic acid and then to adipoyl chloride. The adipoyl chloride is then reacted with hexamethylene diamine to form the final nylon 6,6. The reason why we call it nylon 6,6 is because each of the precursors, i.e. the hexamethylene diamine and the adipoyl chloride, both have 6 carbons in them. Unfortunately, I don't have a reasonable way to make the hexamethylene diamine, and I'm just going to have to buy it. Because of this, I'm going to be focusing almost entirely on this left side of the reaction scheme, starting with cyclohexanol. Cyclohexanol is typically converted to adipic acid by heating it in nitric acid along with a metal catalyst. However, this produces a lot of nitrous oxide gas, which contributes to both global warming and the depletion of the ozone. For many reactions, this wouldn't really be a huge issue, but adipic acid is produced on a massive scale. Despite efforts to trap, recycle, or neutralize the nitrous oxide, this process still releases more than 400,000 metric tons per year. The wastefulness of this method is not unique, and there are countless other industrial processes like it. Fortunately, in the past few decades, we've become more environmentally aware, and a lot of effort has been put into making cleaner and more efficient methods. This effort has spawned a relatively recent but very popular area of chemistry known as green chemistry. The main goal of green chemistry is to reduce or eliminate the use and production of hazardous waste materials. Anyway, with green chem in mind, I decided to make adipic acid in a more environmentally friendly way. With a little bit of searching, I found a modified method that doesn't produce any nitrous oxide, but is supposed to have the same or better yields. In the old synthesis, I would have used nitric acid, a metal catalyst, and cyclohexanol. In the reaction, the nitric acid is being used as an oxidizing agent, but the problem with it is that it's also the source of the nitrous oxide gas. In this new prep, we still need to use a metal catalyst and cyclohexanol, but instead of using nitric acid here, it's swapped for a new oxidizer, hydrogen peroxide. With hydrogen peroxide, the reaction won't release any nitrous oxide gas, and the only thing that comes off is going to be oxygen. On top of this, the reaction mixture is recyclable. Once the reaction's done, we can add a little bit more peroxide, add some more cyclohexanol, and the reaction can be repeated. The old method is kind of a one and done kind of deal. So this modified method not only eliminates the release of nitrous oxide gas, but it also reduces waste because the reaction mixture can be used in multiple.
お前には誰も守れない。自分さえもな。
大丈夫？大丈夫？お花どうぞ。
花？
お礼追い払って助けてくれた。
何の話だ？
じゃあ出会いを記念して。
面倒だな。
聞こえてますけど。
いらない。
まあまあそんなこと言わないで。本物のお花貴重なんだよ。彼女さんにあげたら喜ぶこと間違いなし。
いくらだ？
値段は相手見て決めるの。あなたはただでいいや。
バカにするな。握るでいいか？
握る？これ本物のお花だよ。握る？これ本物のお花だよ。
3ギルだぞ。
全然足りませんけど。それにただでいいって言ってるのに。あ、追い払おうとしてる。しかも5ギルで。そうはいきませんからね。花言葉は再会。
警告しておこう。俺は強いぞ。
そんな感じするよ。
脅しには屈しない。
あ、怖いお兄さん。脅しに来るとか警戒してる？ないない、そういう心配しなくていいから。
マコーロが爆発したんだ。あんたも今夜は店じまいして。
When everything around us is so challenging, you can't just wait for the future, because it won't wait for you.
This video has been sponsored by Squarespace. Diabetes mellitus, often referred to as just diabetes, is a group of disorders characterized by elevated blood sugar levels. There are three major types of the disorder, referred to as just type 1, type 2, and gestational. In type 1 diabetes, the body produces little to no insulin, which is a hormone that plays a major role in blood sugar regulation. Without insulin, cells have a very hard time taking in glucose, and it causes it to build up in the blood. In most cases of type 1, the insulin producing beta cells of the pancreas are destroyed, usually by the body's own immune system. The exact reason why this happens is not yet known. However, it's believed that genetics play a large role and that exposure to certain environmental factors like viruses can act as a trigger. People who have type 1 diabetes need to closely monitor their blood glucose level and control it by insulin injections. In type 2 diabetes, insulin is still produced, but the cells just stop responding to it properly. When this happens, the condition is referred to as insulin resistance. Because of this, the pancreas has to start overproducing it just to maintain normal sugar levels. Initially, this isn't a huge problem, but as the disorder progresses, the insulin-producing cells can get worn out and stop working properly. Most cases of type 2 are managed using a combination of proper diet, exercise, and anti-diabetic medication. Injecting insulin is usually only needed in the late stages of the condition if the pancreatic cells are damaged. Like type 1, the cause is a combination of genetics and external factors. However, unlike type 1, these factors are much more controllable. Obesity, lack of exercise, poor diet, and stress are some of the biggest factors that contribute to it. By avoiding these, you won't necessarily escape your genetic fate, but you can greatly reduce the risk. Anyway, the last type is gestational diabetes. During pregnancy, some hormones from the placenta block the action of the mother's insulin, which can lead to insulin resistance. To overcome this, the mother needs to produce significantly more insulin than normal. If she already had some insulin resistance or problems making insulin, glucose can start building up, leading to gestational diabetes. This occurs in about 5 to 10% of mothers, but after birth, it usually goes back to normal. In any case, out of all these forms, type 2 is the most common, representing about 90% of all diabetes cases. All types, though, share one major and obvious symptom, which is increased urination. This was first recognized by the Egyptians and the Indians way back in around 1500 BC. Then, 1,000 years later, in around 250 BC, a Greek physician coined the term diabetes. It was derived from the Greek word that the Egyptians and the Indians is increased urination. Types, though, share about 90% of all diabetes cases. This was first recognized by the Egyptians and the Indians way back in around 1500 BC. Then, 1,000 years later, in around 250 BC, a Greek physician coined 1,000 years way back. This was first recognized by the Egyptians and the Indians way back in around 50 BC. A Greek physician coined the term diabetes. It was derived from the Greek word meaning to pass through or siphon, which was in reference to the way that liquids seem to just pass through the body. This increase in urination happens because the level of sugar in the blood is way too high. Normally, the kidneys reabsorb pretty much all of the sugar from the urine, and none is lost. However, in diabetics, there's way too much of it and the reabsorption system is overloaded. Because of this, sugars, most notably glucose, are able to make it past the kidneys, and due to osmosis, they pull more water along with them. The earliest and only diabetes test for a long time was to taste the patient's urine. If it were sweet, the person was likely diabetic. This unique characteristic eventually led to it being called diabetes mellitus, where mellitus literally means sweet like honey. This pee tasting method continued for hundreds of years, but it obviously wasn't ideal. It took until 1841 for Carl Traumer to develop the first chemical-based test, which I'm sure a lot of people were thankful for. I'm going to show you guys how it worked, and because I want this video to be as accurate as possible, I'm going to be using real pee from a diabetic friend. For comparison purposes, I got two samples, one when her blood sugar was high, and one when it was normal. Just as a fun fact, when I was planning this video, I was extremely close to trying the classic taste test myself, but I'm sorry guys, when the time came, I just chickened out. Anyway, for Traumer's test, I need to make two solutions. The first is about a 5% solution of potassium hydroxide, which is made by mixing 0.5 grams with 10 ml of water. The potassium hydroxide dissolves very quickly, and it disappears with just a little bit of swirling. The second is a 10% solution of copper sulfate, which is made by adding 1.1 grams to 10 ml of water. I again swirl it until it all disappears, but this time it takes a little bit longer. Now, to test it out, the high sugar urine is mixed with about a third of its volume of the potassium hydroxide solution. Then to this, the copper sulfate solution is added dropwise with continuous mixing. Every time it's added, a small amount of greenish solid initially forms, which is copper 2 hydroxide. However, in strongly basic solutions like potassium hydroxide, the copper 2 hydroxide is slightly soluble, so it dissolves with a little bit of mixing. The goal now is to keep adding it very slowly, just until the solid stops redissolving and the solution is saturated with the copper hydroxide. This exact point is often hard to tell though, and it's pretty easy to overshoot. In any case, I eventually start to see some solid persist, so I take the tube off the stand and I place it in some near boiling water for a few minutes. If sugar is present, the color will change to yellow, orange, or red, depending on the concentration. Okay, so now to explain how this works. Glucose is known as a reducing sugar, and it's able to reduce the copper 2 hydroxide to copper 1 hydroxide, which is yellow. This newly formed copper 1 hydroxide is not very stable, so it quickly degrades to copper 1 oxide, which is red. All of these color changes give
Ну, вот это и есть он сам. Просто давай как его. Нет, наоборот, ну нет. Ну это имеет в виду.
彼方へ送ります。私の全力、これでお別れ。さあやってやろうぜ。海賊の勇気見せてやろう。行くよ。私が終わらせる。はっ。みんなを守る力を。はっ。解き放つ。行くぞ。切り刻んであげる。私を受け止めてくれる人がいる。力解き放つよ。星の力を吹き抜ける風に乗せて運んで、私の思い。きついのいくよ。あっ、これで決める。こんなところかな。私宇宙
значит.
Hey, you want to get leaner, stronger, learn some cool calisthenics, bodyweight skills, but right now you may need to cut some extra weight first. Or maybe you've experienced joint pains, injuries in the past, or you're over 35 and you're already experiencing the natural effects of aging and can't risk going.
騎士の誇りを胸にいざ参る。私は強くなる。
後悔するぜ。これが俺の全部だ。
さあ殺し終わりだ。力借りるぞ。
彼方へ送ります。
Hey, Barrett? Were you really walking the whole way?
Yep.
Calm's still pretty far, though, isn't it?
Another full day, give or take.
Question. When my mom says a full day, she means from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed. But for me, it means from the time you get up in the morning all the way through till the time you get up the next morning. So, which is it for you?
Gotta go with Elmira on that one.
That's a relief.
Is it, though?
Cloud, bet you've had to hoof it from sunup to sundown tons of times. This is all just same old, right?
That's right.
This is all just same. You've had to hoof it from sunup.
Ну, я понял. Ну ладно, нет, да, понимаю.
Up to sundown tons of times. This is all just same old, right?
That's right. But even so, we're...
Same old, right?
That's right. But even so, we're all gonna need to stop and rest. Especially you.
Ну нет, ну от этого зависит.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, marching into the unknown ain't easy. But don't worry, because I'm here to lead the way.
That's comforting.
Of course it is! Alright, everyone, let's stop here for a minute. Leader's orders. Now breathe in that fresh air. Oh. Actually, scratch that. Let's, save it for later, when we're not so close to Midgard.
Guess this is goodbye, City of Mako.
Like this?
Yep, just like that.
Cool.
No way! A car!
Hey, stop! What is it with these damn birds?
Sorry about that.
No need to apologize, ma'am.
Look at that. Where's a roof when you need one?
Gonna be okay?
Should be, but weird. My stomach's in knots.
That's its way of telling you it's hungry. Let's move.
It's been a while, huh? Long time no see. How you been? Listen. Hey. I'm back! Aerith?
고개 그리시면 너무 내가 그게 오늘 나한테 배가 없어. 내가 하나만 ну а что делаешь-то? Ну, наверное, тебе чуть-чуть Так ничего особенного пока.
Well, guys, your girl finally made it to Midgar. You got this, Yuffie. My name is Yuffie, materia hunter and elite special forces operative for the new Wutai government. I have orders to infiltrate Shinra headquarters and steal their ultimate materia. To prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche! Your full support! We got this! So, members of Avalanche, where are you? Come get me already! Okay, if I was a man in a Moogle hat. Wait, does this mean what I think it does? Interesting. So, I gotta come to you.
Ну, не знаю. Это у меня просто свои инициативные, так сказать. Да нет, просто интересно. Как бы личность моя, тип личности моей. Просто, да, ну нет, я для себя самого надо. Ну или не надо просто так. Да, и вообще, ну наоборот, вы понимаете, ну не надо так. То есть вы думаете, что не надо идти? Ну, понимаешь меня. Агломерация как бы. Ну да. Не знаю, это тоже мне непонятно. Может, действительно все плохо. Очень рядом не столько, что еще. Ну ладно, вот это и есть. Вот это все запрещает, упразднять все надо, да? Это тоже смешно. Как можно не верить, если они уже существуют? Что хорошего, что плохого в этом, да. Так. То есть люди должны жить порознь все такие, да, порознь, да. Ну, наверное, да. Да, наверное, как-то так. Не надо так говорить. Что-то я понял, что ли? Это шаг был. Вот это и есть на самом деле. Вот это и есть. Ну, это нет, дорога. А, ну это нет, не забрал. Да ты что? Нет, конечно, нет. Ну, да. Ладно. Черное облачко, думаешь?
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user. For the last 6 years, I've been live streaming consistently to YouTube and Facebook and...
No.